Let's talk about how posting is not a plan. It may be part of a plan of growing your business on social media, but in and of itself, it cannot do all of the work. So let's talk about social media, about how, as I think it was Charles Dickens that said, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Social media, tell me in the comments, does it feel like it's the best of times or if it's the worst of times? I'm telling you, I'm on this both sides of this. But I have seen the power of social media to grow your business. And I have also seen the problem with social media in uh, hindering you from growing your business. We're going to talk about both. But let's talk about the problem first. So, the very first problem with social media is that it is harder than ever to get people's attention. There's more people than ever online, for sure. There are more bots than ever online. And so there's so much. I think there's like a billion pieces of content created a day was the last statistic I heard. That's insanity. So, yes, you can reach more people. You're just going to have a harder time getting their attention. But we're going to talk about that towards the end. But the possibility, the power of social media is this: your people are online. I mean, unless your business is reaching people that have a conviction to not be online, which I'm thought about switching to that sometimes. Okay, now in my business, let me tell you. Okay, sorry, got a little excited, got past my point. The power of social media. I've had 3 times that I have seen the power of social media. One time I wrote one post and got a $900 client right then, right there with one post. It was immediate and it was a spontaneous post. It wasn't even a planned post, and I'll break down exactly why that worked so that you can use that, and also understand why posting just more doesn't always work, but posting specifically will. There was a second time, having learned the lesson of being very, very specific with my content. I posted a piece of content very specifically, and my own client got a client $1,500 from that post. We did it intentionally, and it was so gratifying to see I planned this. It worked. It worked exactly like I had planned. That is the power of social media. You can be present in people's lives and people's ears, solving their problems, even if you're sleeping, even if you're out. Yesterday, I took a Adventure Tuesday. And while I was out, I spontaneously went to this networking event and I met this guy named Blake. Blake was amazing. Blake has is a software engineer and he writes incredible, incredible stuff. The only problem is that Blake struggles with getting on social media. And I was talking to him because I remember exactly what it was like to have all this fear of I have got something that could help so many people, and yet, I have heard so many awful things about when you get on social media. So, what was he doing? Well, he was doing the very best second thing, and that was starting where he could start, as in, he was going and telling people about it in person. So, good for Blake. Blake is amazing. We should all be more like Blake. Truth be told, I have gotten more money offline in my business than I have online. Or I actually haven't done the math. I should, but it's probably like a 50-50 by now. But to expand my reach and expand my influence, that is why I keep on showing up here, is because when April shows up in person, talking one on one, the connection is so much stronger. But the energy required to do that is so much greater too. Conversion rate so much higher. The energy required is so much higher. So posting is not a business plan, but posting can be a very wise part of your business plan if you will think about your posting, your content that you create as many assets in your business. I always say in our business that we need three things to grow a business. We need a good mindset, or we will never make it. We need assets. Assets are the things that fill in the gap for when we cannot be there. For example, um, a messaging machine so that when your customers call and you're not there, it can take a message. Another asset is an employee. Another asset is actual money in the bank for lean times. Other assets are the tools that you buy. Social media platforms can be this incredible, powerful asset to lend credibility, to get the word out to more people, and to build that like, know, and trust. Social media can also be a powerful asset to actually help people, even if they don't buy for you, and to help them buy from you. So keep that in mind as we talk about this. So, social media can be an asset if you make it an asset. But here's what happens is so many times we go to our social media, we go to our posting, we think we need more, when actually what we need to be is more intentional. So let me get back to my notes because I pulled off a little bit. So we talked about the problem of social media is that number one, it's so distracting to us, to other people, that it really is hard to get their attention. And it's really hard to keep our attention on our business when we go onto the platform. I mean, you can lose hours and days that could be more productively used if we are not highly intentional. We've talked about the power of posting. So it can be your presence when you're not there. It literally can bring in money. One post can change a person's life. One post can bring somebody in. One post can be the answer to somebody's question. Let me talk about one more power of social media that is not spoken about, but this is the real reason why I got on social media. And it is an issue that is going on right now in the largest denomination in the US, the largest church denomination in the US. They're having a vote. I think they might have already had the vote by this time about a special amendment called the Mueller Amendment about whether women um, should, the way it says, should women be allowed to function as pastor? Okay, poorly worded amendment. They're questioning what can women do or not do? And what the words they used was the gathered assembly. There are so many things about this. I do not want to make this a theological debate, but I will say this: having grown up in a religious belief where they believe that women should keep silent, that's what I grew up in. And I literally realized there is not much that I would be permitted to do in the church. And I took this to God and I questioned, like, why would you give me this desire to reach other people, to talk to other people, if it's wrong against your word to do this? And it's very, very vague, because they were like, well, women can't be a pastor. Women can't preach, but they can teach. And you're like, what's the difference between preaching and teaching? That seems a little bit, well, I just won't yell at people. That is not the difference between preaching and teaching. And that's, by the way, we're mixing up a lot of terms, by the way, and it would take a long time to unravel this. And then they say, well, you could teach, but you can't teach with authority. And you're like, what does that even mean? Like, speak with certainty? Like, you shouldn't teach unless you can teach something with certainty. I'm not going to get up here and create a video unless I'm certain about what I'm saying. Why would you listen to it? It'd be ridiculous. And because of the wishiness of the specifications from place to place, the effect of that on my life was to silence me altogether. As in, it's better not to say anything at all than to say something in the wrong way that might cause offense to somebody else. So grow up under that mentality for 20 or 30 years. Do you know the reason I got on social media was not just to grow my business, not just because COVID had shut down the opportunity that I had to meet people in person and help them, but the real reason, looking back, the real benefit of social media for me personally has been to learn how to own my own voice, my own potential, and to sharpen this tool to speak the truth in love. And that brings me to the third power of social media. I wrote one post and somebody messaged me privately. And in the course of that conversation, she shared that she was just about ready to get an abortion because she had no hope. She had no hope in her marriage and she was completely overwhelmed and she didn't know where to turn. And this was a Christian. And my heart broke and we had a conversation. We had a conversation only because I was on the platform. And she didn't go through with it. And to this day, when I see pictures of that little child popping up in my feed randomly, that reminds me so often, the power of showing up and using your voice to help other people. That's what we're doing. So, if you have a product or a service that you know can help other people, this is the benefit of social media. Look, there's so much distraction on there, but the reason there is so much distraction on social media is because people are trying to dull their pain. They're trying to escape from their pain. If you can be the answer to their pain, then that's why they're there secretly. They're there for entertainment, they're there for distraction, but there is all of us at some point are on the platforms either trying to distract from a problem or actively looking for a problem. So that is the power of social media is to be the solution to somebody's pain, to somebody's problem, right exactly at the time they need it. So, here's the obstacles about social media. People don't know you, so therefore they don't trust you. And people trust social media even less. They're like, ah, there's just such a bunch of scammers. And they're right. They're not wrong. So, and most people are on social media for distraction or for entertainment or they for fun, for debates and not really education. And that's where my struggle is because I tend to be more education, like, let's learn this. And if we have more knowledge, then we can do better. But the real power of social media is to be a mirror for your person. So here's how you're going to win at social media. Number one, make it easy for them to see themselves in your story. So you can't just be posting about your solution. You have to show them, hey, I've been there, I've gone through that. This is how I did it. I can help you too. Don't be talking about their pain all the time. Like, come across the table to them and be like, hey, I've been where you're at. I completely understand. And make it easy for them, secondly, to get help from you. And that is how I made a mistake. So I said I was going to reveal to you on this live the mistake that I used to make. I did not even tell people what they could do next. I did not give a call to action at all. And just last week, did the exact same thing. I had a coach reach out to me and she was like, I want to join. She's like, I can't figure it out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here I have this business reset that would really help her find the one move in her business without adding more to her plate. She can't even find the link. Oh my goodness, this is exactly I the same. It's the most I feel like it's the most basic mistake, and I did it again. So if you've done this, do not beat yourself up about it, but do be aware of it. What am I asking the people to do, and how? And is it easy to them? Can they find it? So to fix that, make it a simple, repeatable call to action and put it in multiple places. Okay. But hold on. So, how am I using social media these days? Look, I think I missed them. Let me go back and look through my notes really quickly, see if I missed a spot. Okay. Let me go through the steps again. So, if you're posting on social media, know why you're posting. Some people are just posting for fun. If that's you, you're not trying to grow your business, own that. Okay. If you've got other avenues that you're growing your business, then don't mix the two. Enjoy it, just make it fun because people are on social media for fun. Some people are just monetizing the fun. And that is a wonderful business model. I wish I was that creative and that funny. I help people make money online a lot because there are certain creators that I go to over and over again because they add so much happiness to my life. They are so funny. Some people are on it for offline credibility. That's actually what my husband does with his social media is he's showing before and after of his work, his hands-on work remodeling people's homes so that when people are saying, why should I hire you over somebody else? They can go and see the quality of his work and they can see the different things. Some people, and this is where I am, is I'm building it up for future sales. And so like I said, a lot of my business has come from in person. Some of it has come from online launches and things like that. But as I go forward, as I desire to help more and more people, I want to make it more and more that my business comes from the online space. So it is a long term investment of my time and my energy to replace the high intensity energy that meeting people in person or having one on one clarity calls with people in person is having requires. All right. Now, so once you get clear on why you're posting, what you're doing with it, how it fits into your business plan, then two, you want to make it easy on them. Easy on them to either see themselves in your story or to get help from you or whatever you're doing, but make it always be thinking from the other person. What am I hoping the other person gets from this? If you're doing this intentionally and you're not just doing it casually, okay, you get it. This is simple enough. All right, three, how? That's the third question you ask. How do I make it easier for them? So for me, because my online posting is a long term investment in my business, I do two things. I have created a simple, clear, repeatable call to action. Come to my TimeRich Business Reset, where we'll find the one move that will help you grow your business this week without adding more to your plate. The benefit of being simple and repeatable is that you get really good at saying it. The first time I said it, it was rough. I made a simple link where people can do it. I am now going through all of my platforms and cleaning up my profile so it points to the one link. So make it very, very easy, very, very findable. And then what's the other thing that I'm doing? Because I am considering my social media to be a long term investment in my business, is I am making my content binge worthy. Not everybody's going to like my voice. Some people are going to say I talk too long. Some people are going to say she laughs at herself too much. Some people are going to say her stories, she tells me stories. Some people are going to say, she teaches too much. Some people are going to like it. Those people, I want them to have lots of things to watch and to find help in. And because I'm the type of person who enjoys hearing my favorite people on multiple topics, I will share multiple topics, but I'll always have a theme running through it, that this is how we get our time back. This is how we literally get our life back. This is how we enjoy life more abundantly, whether in business or in our family or in our day to day. So ask yourself the how. After you get clear on knowing why you post, why you're on the platforms at all, and then who it's for, making it easy for them to find you, then how can you make it easy? Get really clear. Find one, two, three actions that you can do to make it easier. All right. And then ask yourself, so what do I need to do next? And just take those actions. That's it. That's how we get. But this is how we make posting not some random stuff that we throw at the internet, and we make it high quality, ever increasing quality. And this will also, like, maybe one of your actions is I need to learn how to write a better post. Maybe you need to find a framework for that. My favorite framework for writing a great post, by the way, not just using Chat GPT, is to follow the Pepsi format. And if you have questions about that, put it in the chat, and I'll be glad to share what that actually is. But it's really fascinating. By the way, let me tell you this, on Facebook, when I posted, so I wrote everything out in Facebook. I typed it all out. It was mostly all my words, but I get tired and I don't want to do all the punctuation, things like that. And so I copied it and pasted it into my chat GPT so I could edit it up just a little bit and bring it back. And when I brought it back, it put an AI label on this, like AI created this. I was so upset because I'm like, those were my words. I was using AI as an editor, and you're going to put a label on me? And it's like, fine, maybe I just won't use AI at all. And fortunately, I learned how to write great posts before AI using this Pepsi format. So it's a skill set. And it's a skill set that can get better and better and more powerful. And this is how you will stand out in the massive confusion. I can see AI stuff from a mile away because it's too perfect. And they say it in too many words. And oh, it sounds too much like everybody. I always like to think that our people are looking for us to be perfectly imperfect in a way that resonates with them. So let me share this. If you're just starting out in your posting journey, like maybe Blake was, then let me tell you how to beat the algorithm. It doesn't actually start with skill set. It starts with this mindset. This is the mindset I want you to own. When you embrace the fact that you know your people and that better, better than the algorithm, even maybe. The algorithm is actually trying to help you find the people, but you have to know your people so it can help you find your people. So when you own that you know your people, and that your product is exactly what they need to solve their problem at this time. When you step into that confidence, when you step into that commitment, when you step into that courage of, I believe so much in my product that I'm willing to do it poorly, that I'm willing to do it with voice shaking, that I'm willing to do it imperfectly until I get better at it. When you see this as a relationship that you are building between you and people that you can genuinely help better than anybody else can help them with the problem that they have, and you show up with that with conviction and, yes, courage, because some people are going to say stuff about you. Newsflash: when you turn people away, you turn even more people on every single time, because also the algorithm likes controversy. Ask me how I learned this. My whole video, I had a video that went viral because a couple of people thumbed it down, and I'm like, "What the heck?" I didn't know anybody could disagree with this topic, but apparently they did, and that video took off like you would not believe. Um, but when you own your power, when you own your own voice, when you own your own message, when you take the time to develop it, and then you keep on showing up on social media, your people will see themselves in your story. Your people will see themselves in your voice. They will then want to know all the things. They will find all the things. They won't care that it's imperfect. Now, when you have this much conviction, when you have this much courage, you will also know this. I need to become a better communicator, a more powerful communicator. And then you'll know exactly what to do next. So, what do I need to do? I need to maybe simplify my framework. I need to maybe post a little bit more clear. I need to be willing to say the hard thing. I need to study YouTube a little bit better and see what makes a video go viral or not. I went to a conference a few months ago that talked about the science of going viral, and it was fabulous. It was a little bit over my head. I need to go to it again because I was just starting out my YouTube journey, and I'm like, I don't understand half the stuff. But I want to, because I want to serve my people better, because the better I serve my people, the more they benefit, the more I benefit. This is, and I'm just going to wrap this back up back to my Christian roots. This is the way that God created the earth to work. There are certain things that God has shown me in his word that resonated with me in a way that stuck out of my mind, that I teach in a way that nobody else can teach. And when the church, the largest Protestant denomination in the US, decides that women need to be careful about the things they speak about the word of God, and that has a silencing effect on their voices, 50% of the church just went silent. 50%. No, the answer is not to silence their voices. The answer is to exhort and to equip. We're all going to say something wrong at some point. We're all, nobody gets it right all the way through. Nobody can. You have to be willing for your own people to say the thing wrong in order to say it right. The more courage that you have to be able to say it janky, to be able to say it wrong, the more courage you have to even be able to say it right and say it strongly, but people perceive you wrong. When you step into that power, That'll overcome the algorithm. You'll see the way. I can't tell you all the steps, you'll see the way. Maybe you'll be coming back and telling me, hey, listen, I just figured this out. Say it this way, do it this way, show up this way, time it this way. But your commitment to your people, their problem, and helping them overcome their pain, helping them get to the better, the more abundant that you're offering them, your commitment to that, and then to the process of figuring out social media, that's all you need. Commitment, conviction, courage, and then you'll become the content expert. Wouldn't that have been a fabulous framework? I should have started that at the beginning. All right. Well, if you didn't catch the whole thing, make sure you go back and catch it. Leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. Tell me your aha. But also, if you are growing your business, but it's taking way too much of your time, and you are one of those people that's getting distracted by, this person says, I need to do it this way, and this person needs to say, I need to do it this way. Let me say this. You're the expert in your own business. You need to own and know that. And if you feel like you're being pulled in too many directions as you're trying to grow your business and you're not sure what the next action to take, that's where I can help. So I am doing a TimeRich Business Reset. Go to aprilbragg.com/reset. In this 1 hour live, and there are no replays, and there's only 15 spots, so make sure you grab yours. I will help you personally find the one move that will grow your business this week without adding more to your plate. So that might be a marketing thing. That might be a selling thing. That might be a behind the scenes finances. That might be setting up a system. There's so many different pieces, but I'll show you how to ask the questions in the most beneficial order so you know which, because here's the thing, most people don't actually need to do more to grow their business more. Most people actually need to find what is stopping their business from growing right now. Find the one constraint that's actually stopping the growth. Like, your business is probably dying to grow more. Like my poor little plants, they're dying to grow more. My friend came over and she's like, well, they might need like a fertilizer. And I'm just like, maybe they do. Maybe they don't need more water. Maybe they need actual food, nutrients. I'm not a plant expert. There's some point when I'm gonna have to either give it up or hire somebody to take care of these poor little babies for me that I keep on neglecting, overwatering, obviously. All right. Anyway, I hope to see you. It's tomorrow. It's gonna be fabulous. It's gonna be fun. If you like me, you're gonna love this. Um, and if you've got a business that's struggling, give me an hour. Let's see if we can't turn it around. Okay. All right. That's it. I said I was going to keep these to 30 minutes. We've gone a couple minutes over. But tell me in the comments of your favorite moment or what stuck out to you, your aha moment, and check the comments or the description for the link. Hope to see you tomorrow. All right. Bye bye.